Hello, I'm Manan Javan, coming to you with our first newscast this term from Humber College. And are we happy to be back in our newsroom? It's Friday, October 15th. Here's what's making news. We're not the only ones that are back on campus. The fall term opened with in-person learning, at least for some. Our reporter, Natalie Vasiluk, gives us a look at life on campus these days.
It might be the start of the new term, but it sure doesn't look like it. Buses arriving at Humber are half empty and looking a lot different from the pre-pandemic. Doors open for students, but there aren't many of them. Humber is limiting the number of people allowed on campus and has strong health and safety protocols.
I think it's pretty much safe. They now offer free testing on site, and you can just make an appointment and get in if you're not fully vaccinated.
One of the policies is a mandatory self-assessment in the Humber Guardian app. It is implemented to monitor any symptoms students might have. Once the questions are answered, students get the barcode, which is a green light for them to go inside.
It's pretty simple, it's not too much of a pain, so I kind of like it. It's easier than having to fill out a paper or something. It's fast and easy.
Except the app, students also have to show a proof of full vaccination or a negative COVID test to be eligible to enter the campus. But for the most part, the hallways are empty, and most of the popular facilities like Starbucks and Tim Hortons are closed.
I understand why they're doing it, of course, but it'll be fun to have more stuff to do, when you come to class, but I'm just happy to be back in school, honestly.
But not everyone is that lucky just yet. Only students whose programs require a lot of practical learning are back to campus for the labs.
I'm excited to be in person and meeting my peers and learning in a hands-on environment.
While some programs are already back to campus, Humber is working towards creating a safe environment and getting more students back to in-person learning. Natalie Vasiluk, Humber News.
But in order to get more students back on campus, the college continues to update its safety protocols, following public health guidelines. Humber reporter Melly Gumush spoke with Emily Millick in Humber Communications Department about what students should expect in the following week.
As students, what should we know about the upcoming vaccination deadline?
So the 18th was given as a deadline for people to submit to be fully vaccinated. If they were not going to be fully vaccinated by October 18th, then they would need to participate in the exemption process, which was to fill out some forms that were reviewed for either medical or non-medical, which includes human rights, and to outline the reasons why they felt they should be exempted from the vaccination policy.
So if someone is not vaccinated by next week and coming to Humber, what should they expect?
So as of next week, we are committed to having people continue with their studies this term. So those folks will still be able to continue to provide a proof of a negative COVID-19 test for this term. And then there will be some communication coming out in the next couple of weeks outlining how that process will work for the winter term.
And if a student gets their vaccine next week, are they going to be able to return to campus before that 14 days where they considered fully vaccinated?
Yeah, so the way that it's worked throughout the policy is anybody who's either partially vaccinated or unvaccinated needs to provide proof of a negative COVID-19 test. So if an individual is getting either their first or second dose for most vaccinations, then they would still be able to come on campus with that proof. Once they are considered fully vaccinated after the 14 days of the last dose, then they would be able to come on without that proof.
Is Humber planning to increase the capacity of the campus now that there are strict vaccination policies?
So we're working on the messaging around the winter term and kind of exactly what that's going to look like. But yes, certainly this was considered a transitionary term, easing things back, having more services available, more students, and that will continue in the next term as well.
Are there anything else that students need to know?
I think it's really important if you have that proof, to upload it to the Humber Guardian app. It's other apps. There are some third-party apps out there where you can upload your information into there, but those are not accepted at the door.
When the government comes up with the vaccination app themselves, are we going to be able to use that while coming to school?
So it's definitely been under discussion for sure. We're not sure exactly what the app is going to look like, how it will be implemented, if it's going to roll out in phases, that sort of thing. It's a little bit unclear still, but certainly it's definitely under consideration. One of the things too is people who have out of province and out of country vaccinations, and there's a process that those individuals need to go through with public health in order to do that. So the Humber Guardian app may still be in use for some or all.
One faculty that makes use of the entire campus as its learning lab is the fire service, working through real-world simulations as part of their training.
Hi, good morning. My name is Dave Archer. I'm a training officer here with the Humber Fire Pre-Service Program. And today we're doing firefighter core concept practical on what we call the reverse lay. So what our students are practicing today is what if they were going to a fire and we need to connect our truck to a fire hydrant. So we're practicing doing evolutions where we stop short of the hydrant, firefighter gets out, takes some hose, connects it to the hydrant, and then we advance to the fire, and then a firefighter will also extend an attack line as well. We're running it dry today because it's our first day practicing, but eventually, then in the days to follow, we'll be doing it live with actually opening up the hydrant and flowing water.
But students aren't the only ones that are making the college campus their workspace. For many years, bees have been providing Humber with honey. Reporter Anna DeSantana tells us how the insects are making an impact.
Feeding on the late fall flowers in the campus's large back garden, bees are making an even bigger buzz with the announcement Humber College is now a certified bee campus in partnership with Bee City Canada. A federally recognized charity, Bee City Canada works to raise awareness about the crucial role of pollinators in sustaining our environment.
In terms of food, pollinators represent basically everything we have on our plate. And I think if we're trying to make sure that we look at sustainability both as, how are we thinking about future generations and looking at our environment, pollinators are a huge part of making sure that we have a thriving environment, but as well have food to feed ourselves.
Humber is now one of the 15 campuses working towards educating and protecting the bees. Some of the actions taken by Humber to protect pollinators include installing hives at both campuses, adding a pollinator garden at our north campuses, highlighting honey to the menu of culinary arts, and a promotion gift at events.
Humber's goal is to be a national leader in developing sustainable campuses. A bee campus is just one more way that we are doing so and are committed to doing that. And so it's not just the Office of Sustainability doing it by any means, it's students, faculty, and staff who are kind of leading this initiative.
For students who want to go beyond supporting Humber's sustainability goals, the college offers a hands-on beekeeping course in the spring through the Arboretum. Back to you, Manan.
Thanks, Anna. Well, I must say, even with fall upon us, the Arboretum is still looking quite nice and colorful. Reporter Keisha Osei is also spending some time in Humber's backyard, and she brings us the weather. Keisha?
Thanks, Manan. It's been oddly warm in Ontario, but that's all about to change. We've got a cloudy weekend ahead of us. Today, expect a high of 20 with a 30% chance of rain. Later tonight, a low of 10. Tomorrow, we've got more clouds rolling in with periods of rain and a high of 14 and a low of 7. Sunday brings 40% chance of showers with a high of 13 but a chilling low of 6. So pull out those sweaters and dust off those mothballs because fall is right around the corner. That's your 3-day weather forecast. Back to you in the studio, Manan.
Thank you, Keisha. Well, that's all for today. I'm Manan Javan. Humber News is written and produced by students in the journalism program. For more coverage, visit our website humbernews.ca and follow us on Twitter at HumberJRNL. We'll see you again next time.